Hey y'all, I thought today I would tell you about an exciting day at Dollywood. So in case you don't know, I'm currently in Montgomery, Alabama doing Mary Poppins, playing Bert. If you didn't see our video last week of carpool karaoke with me as Bert and Mary Poppins. Part of this journey coming to Alabama, I drive from New York City to Montgomery. And on the way, we would stop in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee and go to Dollywood. I've always wanted to go to Dollywood, and it was the perfect excuse to go. So we packed up her car. She picked me up in Washington Heights, and we head out. And we spent the first day, we drove about 11 hours to get to Pigeon Forge, and we got there at night. And as you pull into Pigeon Forge, you start to notice there were, of course, Dolly's faces everywhere. She's licensed her name and her face out to pretty much everything in there. So there's billboards with her name on it. It's Dolly Parton's show, Dixie Stampede, Dolly Parton's, all these different things. And there's these like shows. There's the Hatfield and McCoy dinner show, and they have this huge theater that we drove past, which is right next to the Titanic Museum, which is actually a replica of part of the Titanic, complete with the iceberg. It's a bit like Vegas meets I don't know how to describe it. It's like a southern mountain Vegas. Then the next morning we got up, and it was a Sunday morning, so we drove on Saturday. Sunday morning, we're headed to Dollywood, a place I've always wanted to visit. We parked the car. It was really easy to get to. We take the little tram from the car to the entrance to Dollywood. And we walk in, and there is the big sign. It says Dollywood with the butterfly, and I want to get a photo. I took a selfie, and then they were like, well, why? There was, of course, a staff photographer there who's like, y'all get together, let's get a oh, y'all on your honeymoon? Oh, come on, get together. And we're like, and then they were like, hold her real tight. Okay, it was super awkward. Give her a kiss. Like, okay, now she's got a husband and I've got a husband, but okay, this is so awkward. And she's literally like this, and it was awkward. And there was like nobody there. It was practically deserted. And some of the research I did, people recommended going straight to the back of the park first and riding the ride. So we went straight to the first ride, which was called the Tennessee Tornado. We were the only people on the ride. Oh my gosh, it's so crowded. All these people waiting to get on. It's a Sunday morning, everyone's at church, and even if you didn't go to church, they had a chapel in the theme park, or they had a church service at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday. So you could have gone to church there. But we were riding roller coasters. So we rode all those roller coasters in the back, and they were awesome. They were actually really great rides. And they had this one newer one called like the Eagle or something, that you're like flying like an eagle. It was just awesome. The wooden roller coaster was great. We worked our way around to all of the rides, and we finished pretty much all of the rides by noon. Because in my head, our game plan was get the rides done, and then we'll go see the shows, because we're in Dollywood, and the shows at Dollywood are going to be awesome. So the first show we go see is called Kingdom Heirs, and they are a gospel quartet, a male gospel quartet. I mean, the vocal sounds these guys were making was unbelievable. Really, for me, it was a great way to start the entertainment. I thought, wow, if the music is this good, they had a live band. So then we left that. I was like, let's go see this other show, which was called My People, and it was advertised as Dolly Parton's family performs a show. The set sort of looks like you're maybe in like an old, mountain house. Dolly's brother, her brother's daughter, who, Dolly's niece, and then like two cousins. Oh, and then they would sing, right? They would do the show, they would sing, and Dolly was projected on a screen behind them, and they were sort of interacting with the projection. So when I tell you that the best part of this show was the Dolly projection, it was it was so disappointing because they had very little enthusiasm on stage. You could tell they've done the show a lot. They seemed really bored. Some of the vocal sounds that were coming out of some of them was not good. I mean, I'm being highly critical, but it was, you know, to me, like, I rather would have just watched an entire film of Dolly singing than have been subjected to the boredom that was happening on stage. So then we left that. You could take a tour of Dolly's bus. Then, like, to me, the best part of the whole park was this museum that was dedicated to Dolly. It was like 2 floors, 2 full floors. There's even a hologram of Dolly, which we called a Dollygram, that you can see. She talks about it, and then you see some of her dresses and some of her albums and photos, and I mean, it was really just really cool. What became pretty evident the more we spent time in the park is that the park wasn't really built for Dolly, right? This was a park that existed way before Dolly's name was attached to it, and you could kind of sense that. The food looked amazing, and some of the food we had was amazing because it was all pork and beans and you know, home-cooked food and Granny's kitchen, and they had this, if you do go to Dollywood, don't miss the, I'm calling it monkey bread, but they had this cinnamon bread there that was just unbelievable. They grind the wheat there in the park, they make this bread, it's ooey gooey dripping with cinnamon. It was like, so good. But the other parts of the park had this strange theming. It was like all about the mountains. It didn't really have much to do with Dolly. I couldn't quite figure it out. And it turns out that this was an amusement park that existed before. And then in the 80s, the company that owns it they went to Dolly and said, can we put your name on it? She licensed her name, and we got a little countryed out towards the end. I was very disappointed in the shows. Dollywood is totally worth a visit if you're in the area, and if you're comfortable with a conservative place. I don't know if I'd gone with Steven. If I'd gone with my husband, I would have been comfortable. I think we would have gotten a lot of looks. Have you been to Pigeon Forge? Do you like Pigeon Forge? What's your favorite thing to do in Pigeon Forge? Maybe something that I didn't see or missed.